Sesheni ya nyimbo dhaka.
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Sentiment with me, Kevin Karaitumbi. And today we will talk about the elections aftermath, and we are honored to have former running mate Roots Party, Justina Wamae, and atatupatia more insights on what's her view on the just concluded elections. So, mambo, how have you been?
Niko poa Kev.
Tuliachana last time ukiwa umesema hiyo siku ya inauguration lazima uta clear the air.
Yes.
So what happened? What's your thinking about the elections and the overview in terms of the process, how it was, and of course, Ruto having been given the certificate? What do you think? How did they conduct themselves?
My reading of this is that Kenyans voted where they felt their needs are being looked into, because even in the polling station, William Ruto had more votes than me. So I think Kenyans are making a statement that let us first give Kenya Kwanza government to lead us to the next destination. And with the process of IBC, I can say was free, fair, and transparent, because they have been really engaging us. There are letters they're sending, inviting us for consultation meetings, which we used to attend. And the last meeting we had with them as a presidential representative was on matters Form 34A. And they really insisted that make sure you have agents in the 46,229 polling stations, because the results of the Form 34A in the polling station are final. And they told us that our agents should know that they have 2 times they can request a recount of votes. So what came on the Form 34A was the final, was what they translated to the will of the people of Kenya. Kwa hivyo mimi naweza sema the election was free, fair, and transparent, because they also added into the fact of what Maina Kiaisky said, the mistakes of 2017, they tried to correct. And let us be honest, Kenyans, you cannot be perfect, but there's something called continuous improvement. So I believe they have improved with every election cycle, they are improved. Yes.
Okay. If you were to rate them on a red card, maybe 0 to 10, what would you give them and why?
I would give them a 9, because they have accepted to grow and change. And remember in 2017, there was something you were being told that the servers must be open. As a common mwananchi, I was wondering what server is this? You know, server.
Yeah.
It looked like a mysterious thing. But this time, the access of the server, so to speak, was accessible to the public. It was my role, our duty as a Kenyan, to download the Form 34s and do my calculations. So I can rate them in terms of continuous improving and correcting their mistakes. They have done a good job.
The last elections, we have witnessed that women's number in elective posts and competitive post seats has gradually improved. What do you think has led to this? And as a woman who is actually vying for the top seat in the country, what are you going to do to improve even for the next election, so that maybe it can triple from the first election that we had in terms of the new constitution?
I agree that there are more women in terms of numbers, and that has been occasioned by non-responsive bills that are made. When you go to parliament, look at the fuel levy bill. It has really affected the woman in the kitchen, because in terms of kerosene, the one who uses kerosene, there's one who fuels her own car. So if the voice of the women was loud at that time, they would have said, no, increasing these levies will affect us in this way. They would have said, cooking flour is costly. Can we have our own sustainable way for food security? Because she's the one in the kitchen. She's the one who knows that pakiti ya unga inaweza iandikwa 2 kgs, but the way you've been cooking for a while with this 2 kg, hii inaisha haraka. So the voice of woman, then it's good they have come up, will be more, and they can bring the man voice and the woman voice. And the youth voice, because there are also very many youth who have been elected. We can move together and grow this country. So I'm happy that women have come up in terms of leadership, and it also shows that even our men are more progressive. When I was younger, they used to say women in politics are not married. But men have realized that support your wife in her endeavors, in her visions, so that this country can grow. So I'm happy of the direction we are taking.
Diverting a little bit from women and elections, your party legal director Washira, as someone doing based on constitutional issues, I wanted to know from you and hear from you. Are you going to honor the summon, number 1? And number 2, do you think that you have been bought in terms of, because they are saying you wrote a post suggesting that you are congratulating Kenya Kwanza, and earlier your party leader, Prof, had said that he might lean to the Azimio side. So, what's your take on this?
Yes, I saw the communication yesterday, but what I can say is that when I came here the first time, the question in everyone's mind was, how did I meet Wajackoyah? And I told Kenyans that I went through a rigorous interview. And there is this part that came for the interview. You asked, do you have a question? My question was, what is our end game? And I was told the end game is to stick it out to the very end. Our end game is to popularize legalization and regulation of marijuana. So that is something that we committed to, and they told me that that is our vision. But over the time and as we were going down the journey, it was implied that my party leader was quoted very many times, and there was allegations that we are a project. That is something I disagreed with, because they had told me that we are not going to lean towards any other person, we are going to be our own man or own woman in this race. So am I going to honor the summons? I'm still consulting. But one thing I want us to be told, because I'm told that I congratulated on Twitter. Communication is verbal or non-verbal. My party leader was seen and a photo was taken, congratulating the president-elect, telling him ni mwanaume. Isn't that part of congratulations? So I must say I've learned from him. What he did, only that mine was different. I did not meet the president, I didn't meet the president-elect, but I did it on social media. So there's nothing that is against what the party leader did. He greeted him, he congratulated him. That was his was verbal, mine was non-verbal, it was written. So I'm not seeing where the problem is. So about attending, I'm still consulting. But one thing is paramount, that he has made it clear that he owns the party. So for me, I do not want to be tagged an that he ran away from the heat in the kitchen. So because it is our nature as Kenyans to fight it out wherever we are, vumilia hapo, I will stay there, but the decision on what to do with me lies with him and the party.
On the other part of being bought, because you see people are saying that Kenya Kwanza is in the verge of even getting support from other parties, Azimio, for example, because you can see, like yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Friday, we saw 7 members of the UDM party moving to Kenya Kwanza. So what's your take? Have you been bought? Can you tell us?
I'm going to answer this with a question. All media houses were splashed with the fact that my party leader had gone to Azimio. So does it mean he had been bought? That is the question I, as Justina, is asking. Was he bought? But about the other parties moving, it goes back to how we should strengthen our systems in political parties. Stakeholder management and engagement in political parties is important. Probably they felt, maybe they have not been bought, but they felt disrespected. Because explain to me, someone who's being treated well, leaving your home. It means that they stuck it out to the very end. And then when the election was over, they had already decided to move out. And that is why they did it. So this propaganda of saying someone has been bought is an old tale. People move for very many reasons. Reasons that maybe the vision that was there in place has changed midway, someone has changed it without consultation, what you believe in, your principles. There are so many reasons why people move, and I don't believe money is one of them. So those people have not moved because of money, in my opinion. I am not giving my contrary opinion because of money. I'm giving my opinion, basing it on the conversation we had the very first time I went to Roots Party, the very first time we had an interview, and I asked a question. What is the end game? And the end game was popularizing the party and was focusing on legalizing and regulation of marijuana or industrial hemp. I have always stood for that. But the moment you see the office of the party leader looking like we are now supporting a candidate who we are competing against, I think it does not relate well in terms of how Kenyans see us. That is why Kenyans felt there was the tendency of being a conman or conmanship. Because remember, they have always tagged us as a project. While me, I know from the first day I went there, our aim was to be our own man in this election. Our aim was to change the mindset and hearts of Kenyans and tell them that leadership has another direction. So when we tagged a project, and I myself, knowing who I am, knowing what I stand for, it really amazes me. And that is why I say, you leave a party or you speak up in a party because of your principle. So it is not personal. but probably have a difference in principle.
Yeah. So, sticking on Matters Party, there have been agents who have been complaining that they haven't received any payments, not only in Roots Party. So, what would be your advice or word on it?
Ever since I was young, they always say that once an election is over, you cannot go and demand any payment. They always told if you need payment, it must be upfront in politics. But let me say this. If we had our systems automated, if we had a system like what we have on iTax for KRA, we have M-Pesa on our phones, how about we be revolutionary and do our elections online? You can vote from the comfort of your home. You don't need to queue. You just log in somewhere with your ID number, vote, and your vote is counted. We can come up with a very good architecture on it, so that we're going to avoid issues of voter apathy, issues of agents complaining they were not paid, issues of people saying there was so much malpractice, our agents were compromised. Imagine if we did it online from the comfort of your home. So that is the vision I have for this country, that we stop even, do you know, even these security features and the papers and the printing is very costly, very, very costly. We would cut so much cost on that. Let's do it online. Let's have a strong system. That they say it can be hacked, but why not? You know, we can be hacked.
A solution
can be there. But let us focus on avoiding agents complaining, our agents were compromised, our votes were stolen. If there's a system in place, I'm telling you, it'll go very far.
The sitting president has been quiet all through, and congratulatory notes have been coming, even from outside. As late as yesterday, Israel congratulated the president. Why do you think he has been quiet? What do you think has made him go underwater, if I would say?
In my opinion, I think he's conflicted. He had a vision for his home base, home support, and it was this direction. But his supporters voted contrary or the opposite of what he envisioned. So I think he's conflicted in that my people want to stay here. They have won the election. This was my direction. Probably he's taking time to reflect on the direction, and he's, just waiting to see. I think he's just weighing the options.
Okay.
Yes.
Still on the congratulatory note, lots of Kenyans have come out in large numbers saying that they know their leaders they want, and they have seen you from the way you presented yourself, even in the debate, and saying you should be given a seat. What do you tell this guy?
And let me tell you, Kev, it's not the first time. Remember when I was here like 3 months ago, Kenyans are still asking the government that comes into power give Justina a job. That shows that Kenyans are also growing in terms of democracy. Kenyans believe that it doesn't matter which side you are, as long as you're working for us. Kenyans now believe that their vote is our employment contract for leaders to work for them. So for me, I feel our democracy has grown, and I'm happy that Kenyans know that it's not a favor they are doing to leaders. It is a job that they are requiring us to do. So come 2027, it will be a scorecard. Did you deliver on this, this, and this? So I'm very happy in the direction this country is taking.
Okay, Moses Kuria and Geoffrey, the outgoing Mbere South MP, have filed a petition saying that the elections were okay, and they don't want the Raila to go to court, and they say that Ruto was not elected the president on the basis of the violence that was witnessed at Bomas. What is your take? Because I know you were there, and what's your general view of how the scene was? Because at one point I remember the newsrooms were saying it was a crime scene.
So this answer, let me answer it as Justina, because I have my own mind, and I was there, and I was even there prior, undercover. I just wanted to understand, get a feel of the process. Remember when we met IEBC, Form 34A was what was to be used at the final tally. So we had been advised to have agents on the ground. In Bomas, the other agents and their party representatives were meant to go through the Form 34As. So ideally what was happening, a returning officer would come out with the physical Form 34B and the Form 34As. They are looked against security features. Was it the original document? All those parties had been involved. If there was a question, it would have been brought up on the floor before announcing. And towards the very end, everything was going so well. But the last, 4 hours or something, I think when it became apparent that maybe some party was not winning, it is when conflict started. And you'd hear, because I was also on the ground at home, I would hear people from Azimio saying, no, they have been told that the president is going to make a call. Just wait and see to overturn the result. You see? So people are really saying so much. And I have to echo the words of Arnold Maliba. He was speaking from Azimio side, if you've seen his quotes. Arnold said, it's about time we be honest to ourselves as Kenyans. We be accountable to our supporters. We need to tell our supporters the truth. We fail in terms of mobilization. Those are his words, and he's an Azimio. And I know Arnold is from Azimio. He said, let us be honest. So for me, I think it was an election that was won free and fair. And if there was a problem, Kevin, on the floor of bombers, it would have been detected. Why did they let it go through the whole process until the very last minute? So maybe the issue is because they didn't win. But let me say this, they have a right to go to court. Every right. And it's good they're going to court. It's going to be clear. Did President-elect William Ruto win genuinely? Did Raila Amolo Odinga lose genuinely? And number two, for purposes of learning, IEBC will build further on the system. You know, it's good to be evaluated on what we've done. This is part of evaluation. So they are going to build further on the loopholes. So for me, I believe it's a good thing for the democracy of this country. We are moving on well. Yes.
So moving forward, what's your plan?
My plan is that elections have ended, so the campaign period is over. But there are some ladies who have met, some youth who have met, and they're hoping that you're going to come up with a forum, like-minded youth. And let me say, they are more brilliant than I am. Kev, the only thing I had was limelight was given. If the others who I know are given the same limelight, they would outshadow me. They would do better than me. So what Kenyans are lacking is a platform to showcase their expertise and their brilliance. So we are going to come together, try and mentor Kenyans, try and show Kenyans about good governance, because they're the 8 million who did not vote. There was voter apathy. What does that speak to us? It tells us that Kenyans have given up on the election systems. Kenyans are tired. Kenyans do not even feel that leadership is doing anything for them. So our work is to try and sensitize them, come together, sensitize them, show them that it is their right to vote. And something else would want the government that comes in to do. When someone is applying for an ID, let them apply for an ID there, one-stop shop. Get a voter's card, one-stop shop. Get a KRA pin, one-stop shop. All those three, they are given at their point of registration as an adult. So that we won't have a case that, oh, there was no voter turnout. No voter turnout. Once you're registered there because you've accepted you're a Kenyan, and those are the documents that define you as a Kenyan, you're going to benefit from all aspects of being a citizen of Kenya. So we're going to sensitization, we're going to trying to lobby government to do other things that have impact to the youth and the Kenyans of this country.
So Moish, I'll give you maybe 2 minutes to just give your final word to everyone so that they understand what we are going through in terms of the court process, and of course, even if we were told to go back to the elections like they did in 2017, just give them your word.
Dear Kenyans, I want to thank you, all of you, for the support you've given us. I want to thank you for the peace that you have maintained. Kenyans have moved on because you did your role on the 9th of August. You voted peacefully and you let the institutions do their work. There's a court proceeding, there's a case in court. Let us give the court their time. Let us allow them to do their work. But whatever the turnout of the court proceedings, Kenyans, we are going to be directed by the court. Whether it's at 2017 that we go back to elections, let's do it peacefully. Whether it's at 2013 that the election is upholded, let us move together peacefully. Because one thing the president-elect said, he's a president not of the ones who voted for him only, for all of Kenyans. We've been divided for so long, we've been bitter for so long, our economy is ailing. This is a time to come together as Kenyans and move forward.
Ceceni ya nyimbo thaka mohoro maria matukonie